that fight was to happen.
Broner and Haney.
Yeah.
I
Come
mean,
on. You say, come
it's
on.
it's it's, it's Haney. I haven't seen Broner fight in years. No disrespect to him, but
Nah,
I don't even.
remember he
I
fought George Hutchinson.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
All I could go by is what I saw. I haven't seen him fight in a long time. I mean, if it was 2012, this would be a 50-50 fight, but I haven't seen him fight in a long time. I can't, it's hard to say when you're dealing with a guy that's been inactive and he got to be in his mid 30s now, So I would
34,
favor
yeah.
Haney. Yeah, I would favor Haney, but look, I would like to see Adrian get paid. And if he's with Kevin Cunningham, that's my guy. I would like to see him get paid. So, hopefully they get it, but I never heard nothing about that like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I seen your interview with Fight Hype. And you spoke a little bit upon some of the news with Teofimo Lopez and Crawford. And you didn't really shut down the fight. You kind of was like, Teo's a really good fighter. Crawford's a really great fighter. Didn't shut down the fight. I enjoyed that. You know, in your behalf. Do you feel like that's a 50-50 fight?
Teofimo and Crawford,
Yes.
no,
No. Um,
that's not a 50 fight. Not in my opinion. Anyway.
how you have it? Shout out to Jackie and Hendricks for the $10. Yeah. So, how do you have it? More like a.
I haven't even seen Teofimo at 147.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Crawford
you
is,
mentioned something on Twitter the other day, talking about his physique. Speak a little bit upon that. That he doesn't look bulky. He just looks.
how like a lot of guys is like that's like muscled up like him. They're bulky and they don't have a good range of motion. But he has a good muscle tone, is well proportioned, but he's still smooth. He's not slow. He's not too bulky. So I could tell. I mean, either it's genetic or somebody did some real good strength work with him.
Mm,
Um, but I never seen him at 147. And Crawford is one of the best 147s in the history of boxing. And as you know, I had Teofimo over Josh Taylor. I'm a big Teofimo fan. We talked about that, but I can't say he could beat Crawford right now. But more power to the young man if he wants to, be ambitious and do something special. I'm not saying he can't, but you asking me how I would rationalize a fight. I definitely wouldn't say it's 50-50. You know what I mean? Crawford is going to be the favorite over everybody in the world at 147 pounds. So, at Teofimo, 35, 40.
is
So,
that a
I don't know.
competitive fight? Do you think?
Sure, sure. Teofimo's sharp. And he's a smaller guy. His quickness may take Crawford a couple of rounds to adjust to it. Teofimo, a bad boy.
Mm,
Um, he would be competitive with anybody. Uh, but winning is something different.
facts.
Crawford ain't no joke, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't nothing to play with, man. But they make it. Listen, I don't play matchmaker with nobody else's career. They make the fight. Let them make the fight.
Right. Well, there is a fight February 8th with Teofimo and Jamaine Ortiz. Um, what do you think about that fight? This is Jamaine Ortiz's first fight at 140. Always looks drained in the scales when he steps in, similar to what Haney looked like a few times stepping in at 135. What do you think about that matchup? They met in the amateurs. They're familiar with each other.
I think it's a solid fight. A solid fight. I favor Teofimo though.
Mm,
I like Teofimo if he's right. But it's a solid fight. But Jermaine Ortiz is no joke. He fought a local kid, Adorno, a couple of years back, and
yeah.
I've been watching him ever since. He can fight. He's definitely one of those solid contenders that you can't not be on your game because you're not gonna beat them. You got to be on your game. And those kind of guys, they don't have big names, but they can upset anybody on any given day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, what do you think? Do you think he's probably a better fight than the actual fight with Josh Taylor? Because I mean, that was one sided, really, with Tio.
I don't know. Josh Taylor reached the top of the food chain. He was a lineal champion, Ring Magazine champion. Jermaine Till is a good young fighter, but he never reached that level. So you got to respect the levels. You know what I mean? It is levels of boxing, and just because you uh, 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 an elite fighter gets dominated, that doesn't mean guys below him are all better than him. You know, I hear guys screaming that they better than Earl Spence because it don't work that way, champ. Earl Spence is the real deal. He just ran into a great guy that night. And maybe Crawford did have an easier time with him than he had some other guys, but it don't mean that they better than him. You know what I mean? It don't. You know that you can't tell me that Gamboa could beat Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying? Boxing
Mm.
don't work that way. So you still got to respect the level that Josh Taylor was at, and you got to respect what Teofimo did to him. And Jermaine Ortiz is a good young fighter, but he never was that place. That's a high level to be at. Sometimes
Mm.
when you get there, you find out.
Is that the difference maker between them, or of why you picked Teal, or you have other reasons?
I think he's a little bit more dynamic. Jermaine Ortiz is a good fighter. He's sharp. He got a lot of skills, but Teofimo, in my opinion, got a little bit more God-given talent, and that do matter. A little bit more powerful, a little bit more twitchy, a little sharper, just all around, just a little bit more gifted,
Right. So he's just a little bit better in every area.
from what I see. But
Mm.
guess what? I think Jermaine Ortiz is better than George Kambosos. So he got to be on his game. You know what I mean? I do. I really think he's a better fighter than Kambosos. So he has to be the Teofimo that fought Loma and Josh Taylor. He can't just, because he, in all honesty, he could be a little hot and cold. So he got to be right.
Mm. Um, obviously, what did you think about with Jermaine Ortiz and Loma? Because obviously, some people still believe that the best fighter in Teofimo's resume is definitely, Lomachenko. What would you have to say as far as, Jermaine Ortiz is, performance with Lomachenko?
Um, Jermaine Ortiz fought good. I didn't think he won. I thought he just fought
Mm,
good. Um, there's a little bit of a difference. But he held a good account of himself. He did. I think Loma is the best fighter on Teofimo's resume. But people underestimate Loma. Loma is a great fighter, bro. Like he's special. The
mhm.
fact that he's as old as he is and he's taking these kind of fights and he's fighting these young fighters the way he is and he's giving up when he get in the ring with them, you see a way different this sized man. You know what I mean? Like look how much Loma fought Devin Haney than Regis Prograis. Like he's a special fighter, man. He just old and he giving up so much size that he's got actually taking a couple losses on his record. But Loma ain't nothing to play with, man. Devin Haney on a pound for pound list, and I still can't tell who won that fight. If Loma is the best fighter on your resume, then that's a good, that ain't no shame in that. That's a real resume.